What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromTheCustomer. This story's called, "My payrolling company was firing me because of an automation error, then blames it on young people being too lazy." Gosh, this was frustrating. Sorry for the long intro, but it's kinda necessary for the story. So I work in digital communication and copywriting. Now, there's this guy who I've worked for before, and he wanted to hire me to do some part-time work for his new startup for a couple of months. Since this would be a part-time thing, and he was literally just one guy, we figured it'd be easiest if he hired me via payrolling. For those who don't know, or if this is unknown outside of the Netherlands, payrolling basically means there's an external company who serves as the middleman. I'll formally be under contact with them. I register my hours with them, and they handle things like my salary being paid, sick days, legal stuff, paperwork, etc. It seemed like a good deal. Easier for my boss and works just fine for me. Now, I was already under contract with this payrolling company. I had worked with this new boss via this company before, and at that point, I was under contract with them for a different boss. That different boss and I parted ways on good terms, which means I very briefly had no employer registered at the payrolling company. They then sent me a message asking me whether I wanted to quit or not. If I did want to quit, there was a letter of resignation in the online portal that they wanted me to sign. If I did not want to quit, I had to email them to let them know. At this point, the new boss had already contacted them that he wanted to start a new contract with me, so I sent them a polite email explaining this and that I did not want to quit. I literally did this hours after they sent me the email asking me about this, so I think I was on time. After this, drama. It took them over a month to get anything going at all. I was working for over a month basically for no pay because they weren't getting everything ready. During this time, they sent me emails reminding me I had a document I needed to sign. However, that document was the letter of resignation, and I was not resigning, so I ignored those emails. Then, one day, I get an email basically saying this: "You did not reply to our email like we asked and did not sign the letter of resignation. Since you did not take action like we asked, you are now fired. We will pay out your remaining vacation hours within a few days." So, I'm mad. 1, you are the ones who are taking over a month to put me in the system. 2, I did email you. So genuinely frustrated. I immediately call their customer support. Pissed off as I am, I do try to remain as polite as possible. Not like the customer support people can help it. I get connected to a woman who immediately sounded like such a Karen. I explain the situation to her, and she goes on a long-winded speech about how they do stuff at the company. She says that a bunch of stuff they do, including me being fired like that, is automated. She then goes on to explain that they need to do that. Why? To quote her, "We have a lot of young people under contract, and they very often neglect to respond, so we have no choice but to automatically fire them." Yep, she was trying to shift the blame to young people being lazy instead of acknowledging that they made a mistake. She didn't even acknowledge that they made a mistake, let alone apologize for it. She just shifted the blame to young people being lazy. And if you do that, then you really have me on edge. She then continues to ramble about them having to automate stuff like firing because young people don't do what they're asked and blah blah blah. I was getting frustrated, especially because I already told her I did reply like they asked. I eventually interrupted her and said, "Yes, I'm sorry, but what does this have to do with my situation?" Bad idea. She got very insulted. In a very entitled voice, I get back, "Well, I'm trying to explain it. I'm explaining what we do and you're interrupting me. Do you want me to explain it or not?" I'm biting my tongue at this point, but I want to get this resolved first and foremost, so I force out a "sorry" and continue to listen. Thankfully, she did then quickly get to the point and basically told me, "Well, you haven't replied to the email we sent you, so everything's fine. I see a new employer too, so everything's okay." I decided to leave it at that and hung up. Afterwards, I immediately informed my boss before he got unexpectedly caught in this too. He was just as furious as me and contacted the representative he had spoken to before. Thankfully, this representative was on our side and forced our case through. through. Things turned out okay in the end, with my boss being registered to me, albeit through a very convoluted setup process. We shoved my hours from the last month into recent dates to get them paid out, and I'm currently waiting for the first payment. Better for it, because if that payrolling company actually terminated my contract and paid out my saved days of vacation, they would have had a big storm coming. Normally, I try to be as nice with customer support as possible, because they can't help it that the rest of the company messes up. But this lady? Good God, how hard is it to acknowledge a mistake has been made, apologize, and get to the point? Apparently, it's exceedingly difficult. Yeah, that's it. It's hard. This story's called "Went in to get a screen replaced and now we're getting a new phone." I'd like to start off by saying that this is still ongoing, but I believe it is coming to an end soon. If it doesn't, I might go full Karen. It's been almost a week. Also, this is very long. Not long ago, my husband and I got new phones. Firstly, it was an absolute train wreck getting my husband's phone. If anyone is interested, I can explain that one another time. Regardless, brand new phone, one of those really expensive new phones, like over $1,000. This is very important. Well, unfortunately, we find out the hard way that said phone is designed to be as delicate as a wafer cup. Screen breaks within a month of him owning it. He's absolutely floored. I say we go to a local fix-em-up tech place to get the screen done. I make some calls, get pricing, so on. We go there to get it done. Right out of the gate, I have a super bad feeling about this whole exchange that's about to happen. The guy at the register is clearly still wet behind the ears. He spends 20 minutes struggling to figure out how to put into the computer that we want this specific phone screen replaced. Duh. At least 2 people try to come and help him before the manager finally comes out and has to redo the whole thing. It's already been easily 20 minutes. I had to wonder if this is normal. Important note, she asks for husband's passcode. I see her write it down and enter it into whatever was on the computer. We're told it will be done before close, and I was the emergency contact if anything happened. We show up 15 minutes to close, and the technician says we never gave them the passcode. They never even started to replace the screen. They never called me to ask. So they tell us 20 minutes, it'll be done, no big deal. Wow, that was fast. So an hour and a half goes by. Oh, a guy comes out and asks if we were having issues with the SIM card before we came in. No, we were not. Best they can do for us is give it a go again tomorrow. Something might be bent funny and that's why it's not reading the SIM now. They'll call me at 1 p.m. the next day. Wow, they're fast. 1 p.m. the next day. No call. Oh, I give it around 30 minutes and call myself. I'm told a technician broke the SIM tray and now they need to go to another store to get said part. That also meant removing all the data, then putting it back in once they were done. This didn't make a lot of sense to me, but what do I know? I'm not a phone person. I ask if this is something that's done by the end of today, maybe tomorrow. No, a week. What the flim flam flapjacks? He asked if we were good. I said, for now. Called husband on his work phone and told him the bad news. He was ticked but ready for it. So I tell him he needs to call them and figure out exactly what's going on. The next day he gives them a call and the situation has devolved. It is no longer the SIM tray just bent out of shape, but the entire motherboard was dead. That means they need to go to the manufacturer to get a new one. Said manufacturer is an absolute monster, as stated previously when he was just trying to buy the dang phone from them. This was not going to end well. We were prepared to hear that it will be a month before we see his phone again. Next day, I have written a script for when I call them. I was ready to beat them down with logic and threaten legal action if it came down to it. I call. I am immediately given a number to the manager. Funky fish sauce! At this point, this was making us crazy. Call the manager and we could hear how scared she was to talk to us. She was frank and honest. The phone was busted. The original technician tried to skip a step in the replacement process and broke the phone to the point it is completely unusable. I'm pretty sure the original people lied to me so they didn't have to reveal how bad the situation was at first. She goes on to explain that they're trying to get the right pieces for the phone to fix it so they don't have to buy a new one because it's new and expensive. Apparently, the owners are now involved involved, and the original technician is terrified he might lose his job. She promises to call me tomorrow with new information from the manufacturer guy about parts. Tomorrow happens, she doesn't call. I call her. She never got in contact with him. Texts me late at night saying she'll talk to him in the morning. She promises she'll call me at noon about whatever the manufacturer guy says tomorrow. Next day noon, no call. I text around 4 p.m. asking what's going on. 7 p.m. rolls around, she says she'll call me. Another hour later, she does. The phone is toast and they have to go through their insurance to buy my husband a new one. Who knows how long that will take or if we even get any of his data back. What an absolute train wreck of an experience. I have never seen so many people working together fail so miserably repeatedly, then try to hide it from us like children. We're never going back there. We're giving them hard 1 stars. Yes, we know upper management and ownership is trying to make us whole, but by God, every single step has just been such a nightmare. If anyone is interested, I can update this post as I learn more. Let's see if we do get a phone for my husband again. Let's see if they make us pay for the screen still. Who knows? Anything could happen at this point. You know what? Honestly, about what I expected, because nothing ever goes smoothly like that. Nothing like that ever does. Especially when I'm assuming it's Apple, because Apple is notoriously stupid when it comes to anything customer service. They make good products. That's it. That's all they do. Everything else is poopy. And yes, I own the Samsung Galaxy S25G, so I know what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm not biased. I think the iPhones are like really nice, super fast. Like I'm pretty sure the most powerful smartphone processor there is. In fact, the new one plus the last generations, like those are literally the top 2. This story's called Rant About Child's Treatment. Okay, so I'm just going to get this off my chest. My 15-year-old daughter had a bad bike accident and broke her arm, severely so. Took her to the ER first day, was given a splint and sling and told to see ortho. Ortho wouldn't see her for 4 days. 2 days in, kid's in excruciating pain. Head back to ER only to find out her splint was done completely wrong. Get re-splinted and head out. Kid's still in horrible pain, even on RX pain meds, mostly struggling with muscle spasms. Kid doesn't sleep for days because of spasms. Finally see ortho, but instead of MD, we were given a PA. Okay, as long as they help, we are okay. Finally is given a low-dose muscle relaxer. Fantastic. But she's only given 10 2-milligram pills. Kid finally is able to rest and spasms are under control. At this point, we are 1 week out from injury. Kid's not taking RX pain meds, just Tylenol and Motrin and RX muscle relaxer. After 4 days, she runs out of muscle relaxer. I request refill and am denied because PA isn't comfortable refilling it. Again, she was given 10 2-milligram pills. They are the only relief this poor kid has had in a week. Puts her on RX anti-inflammatory, which does nothing for spasms and hurts her tummy. I'm so pissed off. I mean, I get not wanting to overprescribe a child, but on what planet is it okay to leave a patient suffering to cover your ass? It's not like he gave her 30 and she blew through them. We were judiciously dispensing them as it was. Now the weekend's coming and I'm pretty sure she's going to end up in the ER again because muscle spasms from bone break are no joke. I can see the muscles twitching and she is screaming in pain. I am so angry I'm crying and I'm scared to call back because the way they spoke to me prior. I don't want to look like a drug seeker because I'm not. I'm so frustrated. I just want my child to feel okay. I hate that in the US, anyone who needs any kind of controlled medication is treated like a criminal. It's heartbreaking watching your child suffer and having some a-hole PA act like she shouldn't need the only med that has actually helped her has me heated as firecrackers. I just had to get that off my chest because I am beyond upset right now. As a frequent sufferer of cramps, I feel ya, or feel her, because those suck, and I'm assuming muscle spasms are like, you know, rapid cramps, and those really suck probably, especially when you've got a broken arm. So yeah, give the kid meds. Yeah, give the kid meds. This story's called Hiding the 8-Ball When Asking for Donations for a Pro-Animal Group. Last night, I was at a big box pet supply store with my family, and outside was a couple of young men in matching polo shirts with a portable canopy canopy and a folding table. On our way out of the store, they asked us if we'd like to make a donation for their charity that works to help unwanted animals. All of our pets, well, not the hamster, are from shelters. So I immediately reached for my wallet and pulled out $5. And he said they couldn't accept cash because of COVID-19. No problem, I'll make a donation with my credit card. He starts typing all my pertinent information into an iPad, including my card info, and then we get to the amount I would like to donate. The page is only listing monthly donation amounts, with no obvious one-time donation option. I told him that I wasn't going to subscribe for an ongoing monthly donation, but that I'd be happy to make a single donation. He told me that their system doesn't allow for that, but the email receipt will have a link to cancel future donations. Wonderful. I quickly noped out of there after having him erase my information. That is just sleazy to me. They know that a lot of people who would make a one-time donation will fall for it and then forget to cancel the subscription. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I've heard that a lot of charities that you see and encounter are scams. That's just what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that. One of my favorite sources of financial information and schemes and scams is Frank Reynolds. Absolute genius and master of all things money. If you know who he is, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.